This sign means A. Sharp turn ahead, slow down. B. Work crew ahead. C. Side road. D. Playground ahead. A. Sharp turn ahead, slow down. Warning signs prepare drivers for upcoming road conditions and hazards and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign warns drivers that there is an upcoming sharp turn and that they should lower their speed accordingly. Any motor vehicle operator convicted of evading arrest for the violation of any Nebraska law can have their license revoked. A. True. B. False. A. True. Your driver license may be revoked if you attempt to avoid arrest or citation by fleeing from a law enforcement officer. To let other drivers know that you intend to turn, signal at least. Fill in the blank feet in advance. A. 50. B. 100. C. 150. B. 100. Signal your intention to turn at least 100 feet before the point where you plan to change directions. This allows other drivers time to safely react to your movements. Children up to age 18 are prohibited from riding in cargo areas. A. True. B. False.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
A bicyclist who doesn't obey traffic laws? A. Is in the right because bicyclists don't have to obey traffic laws. B. Can be ticketed. C. Will always receive a warning from law enforcement. D. Will have their bicycle impounded. B. Can be ticketed. All bicyclists have the same rights, duties, and responsibilities as drivers of motor vehicles. Motorists and bicyclists who do not obey traffic laws can be ticketed. When driving in traffic, it is safest to A. Fluctuate your speed to keep alert. B. Drive faster than the flow of traffic. C. Drive slower than the flow of traffic. D. Drive with the flow of traffic. D. Drive with the flow of traffic. Crashes often happen when some drivers go faster or slower than other vehicles on the road. Always try to drive with the flow of traffic, within the posted speed limit. When approaching an intersection that has a stop sign but no painted crosswalk, you must A. Stop your vehicle inside the unmarked crosswalk. B. Stop before entering the unmarked crosswalk. C. Stop at the stop sign. It does not matter if you are in the crosswalk or not. B. Stop before entering the unmarked crosswalk. When approaching an intersection with a stop sign, you must come to a complete stop before entering the crosswalk. The crosswalk may be marked or unmarked. Drivers may pass on a two-lane roadway marked with a single solid yellow line on their side of the center line. A. True. B. False. B. False. When there is a solid and a broken yellow line separating two lanes of traffic moving in opposite directions, a driver may pass only when the broken yellow line is nearest to the driver's lane. It is legal to go faster than the speed limit when passing another vehicle. A. True. B. False. B. False. It is always unlawful to exceed the posted speed limit, even when passing another vehicle. This sign means A. Heavy traffic ahead. B. Do not enter. C. Railroad crossing. D. Yield. B. Do not enter. This sign means that it is not safe for drivers to enter the indicated road or driveway from their current direction. If you come across one of these signs, you should immediately turn around and drive a different way. If a road is slippery, maintain a following distance that is A. No different than normal. B. Farther from the car ahead than normal. C. Closer to the car ahead than normal. B. Farther from the car ahead than normal. You need a longer distance to stop your vehicle on a slippery road than you do on a dry road. Maintain an increased following distance when driving on slippery roads. When approaching snow removal equipment, you should A. Be aware of restricted visibility. B. Be aware of flying sand and chunks of ice and snow. C. Maintain a following distance of 100 feet. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Maintain a following distance of 100 feet from snow removal equipment or other maintenance vehicles working on roadways, except to pass. Around such equipment, flying sand and chunks of ice and snow may damage surrounding vehicles. Snow removal equipment on the roadway may result in restricted visibility due to clouds of snow forming from the moving plows. This sign is a yield sign. B. School crossing sign. C. Stop sign. A. Yield sign. A downward-facing triangular sign is always a yield sign. Drivers must be prepared to slow down or stop when approaching a yield sign. What color are pavement markings that separate traffic lanes moving in opposite direction? A. Yellow. B. White. C. Yellow and white. D. Yellow, white, and black. A. Yellow. Yellow lines are used in the center of the road to separate lanes of traffic moving in opposite directions. When driving under snowy or icy conditions, it is safe to use your cruise control as long as your speed is reduced. A. True. B. False. B. False. You should not use cruise control when driving on snowy or icy roads. Your tires may lose contact with the road and you will no longer have control of your vehicle. When driving in fog, you should A. Use your high beam headlights. B. Use your parking lights. C. Use your low beam headlights. C. Use your low beam headlights. Drivers should use low beam headlights when driving in fog. High beams will reflect back at the driver, making it difficult to see. Bicyclists have all the same rights and responsibilities as drivers of motor vehicles and must obey all traffic laws. A. True. B. False. A. True. Under Nebraska law, a bicyclist has the same rights and responsibilities as a motorist and must obey all traffic laws. Drivers of motor vehicles should respect a bicyclist's right to share the roadway. This road sign means A. Pedestrian crossing. B. School crossing. C. Jogging trail. A. Pedestrian crossing. Warning signs provide notice to road users of a situation that might not be readily apparent and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign tells drivers to be alert to crossing pedestrians. When approaching a flashing yellow light, drivers should A. Increase their speed. B. Come to a complete stop. C. Turn on their headlights. D. Slow down and proceed with caution. Various traffic control devices in construction and maintenance work areas are the color A. Red. B. Orange. C. Yellow. B. Orange. Orange warning signs are used in and around work zones. Use special caution when you see orange signs, cones, or barriers on a roadway. If you want to turn left at an intersection controlled by this signal, you should A. Turn, as long as you yield to others' drivers. B. Come to a full stop and proceed when it is safe. C. Come to a full stop and remain stopped while the red arrow is activated. C. Come to a full stop and remain stopped while the red arrow is activated. If you want to turn left at an intersection controlled by a traffic signal displaying a red arrow that is pointing left, you must come to a complete stop before reaching the intersection, stop line, or crosswalk. Remain stopped as long as the red arrow is present. Only vehicles displaying special plates or parking placards for persons with disabilities may park in spaces reserved for them by an official sign. A. True. B. False. A. True. A parking space marked by a reserved parking for persons with disabilities sign may only be used by vehicles that display persons with disabilities license plates, disabled veteran license plates, and/or disabled parking placards. If you park facing uphill on a street with a curb, set the parking brake and A. Turn the front wheels toward the curb. B. Turn the front wheels away from the curb. C. Leave the front wheels straight. B. Turn the front wheels away from the curb. When parking uphill on a road that has a curb, your wheels should be turned away from the curb. When parking uphill on a street without a curb or when parking downhill, your wheels should be turned toward the curb or edge of the road. Enter a roundabout. A. Only when there is an adequate gap in traffic. B. Immediately, as traffic entering a roundabout always has the right of way. C. After coming to a complete stop and looking both ways. A. Only when there is an adequate gap in traffic. When entering a roundabout, you must yield to traffic that is already in the circle. Enter when there is a safe gap in traffic. Drivers should maintain a minimum following distance of A. 3 seconds. B. 5 seconds. C. 7 seconds. A. 3 seconds. A driver should allow a space of at least 3 seconds between their vehicle and the vehicle ahead. Drivers should always increase their following distance when conditions are less than perfect.